Hello and welcome to episode 186 of Gamers of the Lost Spark podcast. I'm your host, Stuart Burgess, and joining me as always is the other spark on the pod, Mr. Stephen Akata. Steve, how are you?
I'm very good, mate. Thank you. How are you this week?
I'm hot again now. I've just shut the door to this bloody office.
We just discussed before we recorded it. It's actually not that warm at the minute either, but it's like it feels like the residual heat in the house. It feels like it's never ever going to be cold again.
No, I think we've got used to it being really hot, and I can always remember walking around with a jumper on, going, in a few months we'll be walking the dog with just a t-shirt and shorts on, and now we're very much here. I'm like, I can't wait to put a jumper back on again. I want to sit huddle down on my sofa under a fleece and be cold.
I know people think, oh, these people are weird that like sort of autumn and winter. I'm like, no, I quite like that. Like for me, the perfect combo is a hoodie and shorts, because then I'm regulated. Then I'm warm up top, but my legs are cool. It keeps me regulated then. So yeah, around sort of 20-ish, 25 degrees is about right for me. Any warmer than that, no, I'm out. I'm tapping out.
Yeah, I think I did the podcast with Simon, the other podcaster, last week. I can't remember now, the week before, and literally as soon as I left here, I went downstairs and jumped in my ice barrel and was in there for like 20 minutes with about 4 or 5 bags of ice in there just to bring the core temperature down a bit. But yes, but it's very hot in the world of gaming. I have a new background. Unfortunately, it's not real. I was getting challenged each week finding something to put behind, and then for the Inside CI podcast, I created a background on ChatGPT or something like that. So I sat down the other day for about 20 minutes and created a background, which I quite like. I might try and replicate this. Apart from the window over here, which is not possible, I might try and replicate this at the office at some point.
It's like a gamer's dream, mate. That honestly, it's like what could you possibly maybe slot a Nintendo bit in the middle, but yeah, like you've got the neons, you've got the consoles, you even got like a little Lost Spark sign, everything you could possibly need and want right there, mate. It's perfect.
Well, it took a little bit of sort of like re-editing because I was telling it a few bits and pieces, and it just kept on coming saying, "Can't do that due to copyright. Can't do that due to copyright." And I'm like,
so annoying, isn't it?
Yeah, and it was like, make this side green, make that side blue. So the blue is PlayStation and the green is Xbox. Don't put Nintendo in because it just sort of messed it up a little bit. I thought, you could have put Nintendo up here somewhere, but then anytime I mentioned Sony, PlayStation, Microsoft, Xbox, Switch, Nintendo, it just threw up an error. So I had to go liberally put up a green games console with a brand that works with green, and then it created this. And then, yeah, I've got me Lost Spark flagged down there because originally it sort of put it right behind the back of me. And I'm like, yeah, great, but you're not going to see me.
Can't see that. Yeah.
So I'm in the way. So, no, I thought I'd jizz it up a bit. But actually, while we're talking about backgrounds, I have got a question for the listeners stroke viewers. I sat down and played a game earlier today, and I played it for about 2 hours in the end. So what I would like to know from anybody listening or watching this podcast, as Steve's got a very confused look on his face.
Yeah, it's blindsided me to this. Yeah,
it's literally just like there is another podcast out there, Xbox 2, I think it is, with Rand and Jez, where what they do is they don't show the faces and they just show like whatever, an hour, 2 hours worth of game footage whilst we're podding. So as a listener or a viewer of this podcast, are you happy seeing our ugly mugs, or would you like to see like an hour or two of the latest game? Like we could have put up Moss, or we could have put Assassin's Creed, or we got Halo coming as we record this next week. So let us know whether you would like to just see like 2 hours of gameplay footage, or whether you would like to continue to see us, or whether you'd like a mixture between the two. Just so we're sort of like, you can listen to us and see us, or you could listen to us and watch a game which you may not have purchased yet.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. I mean, it'd make the edit easier for you, Stu, wouldn't it? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
So from a selfish point of view,
it does. But as we'll get onto the games in a minute, I did sit down and play a game this morning for 2 hours. So it takes probably about 2 hours off the edit, but it probably puts about 2 hours back on my day in respects I've now got to play a game up here, which, oh wow, that's a real chore.
Shame. What a shame.
So talking about games, what have you been playing? Your first one, Junkster. We've got a stream up on the YouTube channel. You sat down and set the world on fire the other day. How did you find it? Because I know Anthony's been playing it.
Yeah, I've been trawling through sort of Game Pass to tick my obviously my 4 pack and 8 pack off monthlies. So yeah, so I figured it was just something that I had an hour spare. So I thought let's try something that's relaxed as I thought it might be. As it turns out, as if you watch the video, it turned out to be a little bit different than relaxing in certain parts. But yeah, I think it was either yourself or Anthony that was talking about it, and I was like, yeah, let's try it out. Let's give it a go. So it's just this sort of 3D platformer, very much seems to be inspired a bit like sort of your likes of Ratchet and Clank, that sort of thing. Your little robot, you're going around these little levels, puzzles, collecting bits for a diorama. So you're collecting bits for a ship. There's like a toilet you
Right.
collect, a vending machine, that sort of thing. You're collecting cogs as for completing the puzzles, stickers for a comic book collection, that sort of thing. Um, but there's also a little building element to it as well. So you collect these pieces, you construct little sort of towers, passageways, platforms, that sort of thing to overcome your obstacles and the levels and such. But yeah, the camera can be quite finicky, like in terms of controlling it. And the blocks that you're building, you have to put it in very specific places. So that's the thing that trips me up a few times that I end up arguing with, because it almost like the camera defaulted to a weird angle in certain places, and like you couldn't see it properly. I ended up getting trapped inside my own construction at one point. I built on top of myself, so I was trapped. Nice little chilled out game. Don't get me wrong. Just the building element was quite, like I say, a bit sort of tricky in places just with the controls. But
It was funny because I think it was one morning you streamed, wasn't it? You were doing it
yeah,
one
yeah, yeah.
morning, and I've been working from home quite a lot this week. So the office which I'm in now is mainly my wife's office, which is sort of her desk is behind me, and so I'm sitting downstairs on the Mac doing my work, sending my emails, making phone calls, and then you sort of messaged me to say I'm going live. So went onto Xbox, it came up saying you were playing. So and it was just hilarious watching you sort of like trying to build your ramps and move those triangles around. It's like, well, it won't
Hmm.
work like this. Why won't it work like this? It works like that. If I lose that, it works. But why won't it? And just in this massive sort of Yorkshire accent, it was like that remote control's getting thrown against the wall in a minute if he's not careful.
Yeah, it's just it's like it's literally verbalized in a dialogue of my brain. Like when I'm playing, like even if I wasn't streaming, these are the conversations that I'd be having with myself. Like so, it's almost like if I'm recording it, well, I'm going to say this stuff anyway because I'm almost talking it out. I'm talking it through whilst I'm playing. But yeah, I enjoyed it. Like it as just an experience of playing Game Pass. It's just a nice little game. I don't know how long it will be. I played that hour. I've played a little bit more since. But there's elements where you can, which I clipped it out actually and put it on Instagram and YouTube and TikTok. Is you can build your own little robot. You
Ah,
can you can have bits where it's got machine guns on it. It's got some spinning blades on it. So there's some puzzle elements. There's a little bit of combat. Blades cut down like these plant tentacle things, which obviously would sting you otherwise that you can't get through without the robot. The bit that I was chuckling to myself at is like I built quite a tall robot. Like you could be like scaffolding and put it right really high. And I was like, I could just basically build this as tall as I wanted to. Like I could just have like this little guy sat in his little cockpit and his little perch way up in the sky. So I had a little chuckle to myself about that. But yeah, just except from the sort of the little sort of tricky building mechanic, I thought it quite a fun little game. Like I said, I don't know how long it lasts beyond maybe quite a handful of hours. Maybe I'm not sure, but yeah, just a nice little one of them sofa games that if you've got a spare hour or two, sit down with a podcast. Just as a bit of background gaming, something maybe. Just a nice little chilled out game, except for the building mechanic. But yeah, I will go back and play more of it and finish it. I think so. I finished First Light recently, so that's sort of one of my bigger games I've been playing recently that I finished. So I'll go back and polish that off, I imagine, at some point.
Yeah, I think Anthony's. I'm not sure if he's finished, but I saw it when you were building your very tall tower. Maybe you should do like some of the YouTubers do with Fortnite, which is I built the world's biggest tower, or I see those popping up on YouTube all the time, like in the gaming section. So maybe you just see how tall you can get with your rig.
Biggest or widest or most stupid thing that I could possibly build. Yeah.
Yeah, you always, you make good content.
That's what it's about. Content is content, Stu. That's my philosophy.
Yeah, we're talking about content. I'm like at the moment I'm fighting with myself because I am still playing Forza Horizon 6. I am thoroughly enjoying it after the little faux pas it had with me and the faux pas it had with you. But too soon.
Yeah.
But I'm as I put, I'm mopping up on my mopping ups. So I literally like now I'm just going through. I'm stupidly trying to master the game. I'm trying to get like the achievement, which is like 0.01 people have completed it at the moment. But because inevitably at some point I'm going to have to do drifting. And then there's also one trailblazer and one speed trap on there I cannot do. And it's getting to the point where, like the other day, I sat here for an hour just trying to do it. And it just kept on coming up saying, you need 3 more miles an hour more to get 3 stars. I'm like, yes, you keep on telling me every time I do this bloody thing. So what I've been doing with Forza Horizon 6 at the moment is I've been going through and doing like online, which I've been thoroughly enjoying. I do find it a little bit annoying online because if someone crashes into you, they sort of ghost you, it misses you, which is good. So if they're purposely trying to hit you or they like you're going into a corner, they steam into you, it ghosts you out the way so they don't clash with you. But what is annoying when you're like 3 abreast and you're doing a rally, if you get knocked and then you hit the wall, it thinks you've hit the wall on purpose. So it makes you go slow for about 10 seconds, which means that, the whole race is over, which is okay. But at the end of the day, it's annoying. But I'm not doing it for wins. I'm doing it to try and get to eventually level 100. So now at the moment, I'm doing the mixture of online. Then I'm doing a mixture of the takeaway challenges, the delivery truck challenges, which are quite fun. And then I've just started cross country, but I'm going through and doing every track on arrivals in a class car, which is the only one I've chosen. And you can't hit anything. As soon as you hit something, you have to do it again. It has to be a clean lap. So yeah, I mean, I'm absolutely rinsing that within an inch of its life, but thoroughly enjoying it. But you had an issue the other day, didn't you? Didn't it lose some progress?
Yeah, so I wanted to get to Legends Island, like that was my goal. Like I think I did it on like a Monday and I had like 7,500 XP to unlock, and I was like, oh god, it's got to take it because I was doing like the jumps, speed traps, the speed zones, that sort of thing, and I was like, oh, this is got to take no time. Or then I realized we were getting like literally like 50 or 100 at a time, so I was like, oh no, this might take a while, and I had to do some more races and things. But I did it, and I got there, got Legend Island, did the excellent race leading up to it. I purchased the Ferrari FXX, like the Enzo Ferrari, like the proper beastie version. That's like 2.5 million credits or something. And I was like, brilliant. I can get me XP boards. I can do that. Then I can start chewing the roads up. Do you know what I mean? I've done the mascots. I'll get the XP boards, and I'll make a start on the roads now. Now that the full map is unlocked, and I sent you a message. I literally sent you a message saying, right, I can do the what is it? The Behemoth, whatever. I can't remember the name of it now.
The Goliath. It's the Goliath and the Colossus. I think.
Yeah.
It is,
so like the one where it's like the entire perimeter of the map, and I was like, well, I need to do like 20 minutes to do my Game Pass task anyway. And I've got this Ferrari. If I can do it in that or some equivalent, then it won't take very long. So I went to buy. It's like this. You might have seen it, but it's like I can't remember the name of it now. But it's like a little. It's almost like a go kart, but with a massive front. It's almost like a mini F1 car that looks like a go kart.
Yes, I'm not sure what it is, but I recognise it.
Yeah, I went to buy that, and then I was installing an upgrade kit for it to make it like obviously the highest it could be to obviously fulfill the category. I was like, yeah, that'll do it. I bought it. It was installing, and then it just froze midway through its installation of the upgrade. So, God, no, not again. This has happened before, and I was like, all right, I'll just have to start again. It's happened before when I've been installing an upgrade to it. Backed out, closed it. Right, we'll start again. Loaded it. I've got a warthog on my screen rather than my Ferrari that I've just bought, or the car that I've just bought. I'm like, hang on a minute. Like, I wasn't using a warthog last. And it put me right up to the top of the island where the snow is. And I'm like, hang on a minute. I opened the map, and I was back to 7,500 XP away from Legends Island. And I was like, no, no, sorry, no, I'm done. Like, no, Forza, you've really done me dirty at this point. Like, it wasn't even just at getting Legends Island or just before getting Legends Island. It was like it had forgotten the whole week of me playing, which is like, surely at some point during that week, granted I'm playing Quick Resume and so on and so forth, but surely at some point in that week, you saved my progress to not send me all the way back.
It should do, because I mean, I had an issue here where I can't remember what I was doing now, but I was doing something up here. I closed it down. I'd closed it down downstairs, so I'd finished it, and then I come out to the home screen and quit the game.
Mm-hmm.
I then came up here and did some work, and then about an hour or so afterwards, I just basically started it up again. Then I sat up here and played. I don't think it was about 45 minutes of some bits and pieces. Just, I think I was doing some of the road rival tracks. I think I had like 5 to go. That's it. I had 5 to go before I did all the rival tracks, and then I unlocked a Porsche GT4 RS, I think. And in a similar fashion, was like, right, so I did that. I think I was recording the footage. I can't remember now, but I did that, and then I stopped it, and I didn't close it down because it's quick resume. So I sort of stopped it. I did a few bits and pieces. I turned the Xbox off after about 5-10 minutes. Went downstairs, started cooking some dinner. While pasta was cooking or something like that, I then decided just to jump in. And then it come up with that screen you sometimes get, which is like, you're playing somewhere else. Which one would you rather play, here or there? And I went, oh, hold a second. I don't want to mess this up. I want to play there. So I quickly shut it down, came back up here, started it up again up here, and it had gone all the way back to the save I had downstairs. So that was annoying because it was about 45 minutes worth of playing. But, I knocked that out the next morning, I think it was. But to get to Legends Island and the Behemoth and all that lot, and then now all of a sudden you haven't got it. I mean, you got your 2 million credits back. At least that's a bonus.
Well, yeah, and I got the achievements. Like, I've got the achievements to prove it. Like, I've got all the XP boards, I've got the Legends Island, and so on and so forth. But I thought, at worst, it's going to take me back to, you've unlocked the race for Legends Island. I was like, well, it's not a bad thing that I have to do it again, because that race again to get to Legends Island is a real masterpiece. The build up is fantastic. So, at worst, I'm going to do that. Or it's going to make me buy my car again, and blah blah blah. But no, to take me all that way back and undo all the work I'd done that week, I was just like, no. I've genuinely uninstalled it. Like, I'm like, yeah,
Really?
I'm like, no. Like, I'm not even gonna go back to you anytime soon, because even if I go back in a month's time, I'm still gonna think, oh no, I'm gonna have to do all that again. So yeah, so it was just such a shame, because I've thoroughly enjoyed that, and I've probably seen that out more than one of the last sort of Forza Horizon games, and I was like, it was the fact that I'd made such an effort to knuckle down, do it, put everything else to one side to get to where I wanted it to be. But yeah, I'll go back. I think I mentioned it, group. I'll go back at some point when there's maybe next batch out, next DLC or something, and then I've probably had a chance to forget about it. I'm like, oh yeah, do you know what? I'll just go back. But for now, I've got plenty of other things to play, and I was like, yeah, let's just get on with other bits and bobs instead.
Well, I'm going to mention the fact that we've just started season 3. I've completed week 1 of season 3, which is Italian Exotics. So you have got some really, really cool cars to unlock. I mean, if you've got the car pack premium bundle, you get the new Ferrari F80, I think it is, and a load of cars like that. And it is quite good because you get some cool little Italian cars. Because I'm trying to go through and get all the photographs. I mean, this is how sad I am. I sat down the other day, and again, going back to my points, I sat down the other day and I was like, oh, I need to start playing the ROG a bit more, because I've really not played it because I haven't been anywhere. So I'm like, ooh. I found when I was in France recently, I found that the ROG was really good at by doing stuff quickly. So like pressing up, taking a photograph of something, and then it got back to gameplay really quickly, like 2-3 times quicker than an Xbox. Even both of my Xboxes. This one here is newer. The other one downstairs is the Halo Infinite edition. So I thought, I know what. So I put on my TV downstairs, I put up what I needed to photograph, cars I needed to photograph. And then on my Ally, I was logged into Forza as well. And I was basically going through taking photographs of the cars in my library that I hadn't taken photographs of, cross-checking it with what was on my TV. That's how sad I am.
That's just a hack. That's a Forza hack right there.
And I got, the good thing was I got me 15 points for Xbox, and I got me 15-minute points for Xbox, and I got me 15 minutes points from ROG. But I did notice it's a new story, but I'll cover it now. I did notice VGC had put up a thing that Forza Horizon 6 leaderboards are being wiped as Playground Games patches out exploits. So I've noticed that there are some ludicrous. I mean, it was the same with Forza Horizon 5, but basically there are some absolute ludicrous sort of like glitches in it where people are doing jumps of like, I don't know, 10,000 feet, or they're getting they're doing speed traps, and they're getting, I can see you've done it and you've got like, I don't know, 92 miles an hour. I've done it and I've got 92. Anthony's got like 85, and everybody's around about the same. But then if you look at the world leaderboard, Joe Blogs from wherever's got 450 miles an hour. And then everybody else below that is really. And then I noticed on YouTube the other day there was a hack where I can't think what it was now, but you went through it, then you reversed, then you drove to the other side of it, but you didn't go through it, and then you did a burnout, and then that gave you the speed of that checkout zone. So basically, Playground Games have said, we understand this is a disappointment for some players with legitimate lap times. The studio has added, we have chosen this approach so that everybody has a clean sheet to play from going forward. Regardless of leaderboard deletions, any clean time posted to earn an associated collection journal item for the rivals will not be lost and will remain unlocked. So what they've done is they've literally just gone through, and I think they've just zeroed every leaderboard and then everybody starts again, sort of thing.
I get the reason why they've done that, because obviously it's the, I guess, easiest and also fairest way of doing it. But like for you that spent all that time like doing these things for like an hour, like, or if somebody's done like the Goliath race or something, I'm going to do it and I'm going to like set this fastest lap in whatever category, to have that nilled and wiped again. It's like, it's frustrating. I get why they do it though, because like I say, it's the only real way to do it, isn't it? Because can you imagine how long it'd take to find each individual person that's done it illegitimately? That'd be a nightmare. So I get it. Just to wipe it is the best way to do it. But how do people figure this out though, Stu, is what I want to know. It's like, do you remember back in the day, like these like bugs or glitches in like COD maps and stuff, where somebody'd escape the map and they'd be on this like crane or skyscraper? Like, who's finding this? Like, who's finding, like, just play the game? Like, is people just literally running at things to try and like, well, if we run at this wall at this angle and jump here and duck here and crawl like how do you even think of like, I'll drive through it, then I'll reverse and I'll do a donut, I'll go back it this way, it's like, how do you even figure that out?
It's a bit like everything else in life, isn't it? It's like, who was the first person to ever eat a kiwi?
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
how did someone come across a kiwi and go, oh, do you know what? That looks good. I'll try that. Or who discovered that an oyster was suitable to eat and things like that. So it's yeah. I mean, for me, it doesn't bother me too much. I'm not so passionate about leaderboards. I'm just trying to tick off my journals. And the one thing I'm toying whether to do or not, and if anybody's listening to this, actually probably more watching this because it would be a YouTube thing, is since the beginning, I don't think I've redeemed a single wheel spin, either super or ordinary. So I'm just getting up to 200 wheel spins in total. Yeah, there's a collector maniac here in front of you. We've already established that with my points, and that I can't get rid of my babies. So I found a new thing to collect, but I'm toying with the idea because apparently some really cool cars that you can get only from the wheel spins. One of which I think it's a Ferrari something, and it's about 66 million credits. And I've been watching a few people do these unlockings, and I'm toying with the idea of doing a Twitch stream, which is like I'm gonna wait until I get to 200, and then I'm gonna just do a Twitch stream, which is what do you get for 200 wheel spins in Forza Horizon. So if that's something you would like to see, let me know in the comments of this YouTube video, and then I will record it. Probably it might be a little bit after this podcast goes live, because I think you get a wheel spin for every 3 levels you go up, and it's really hard to earn super wheel spins unless it's festivals and things like that. So I think I looked this morning. I think I'm at 179 with both. So yeah, so that's another thing I'm collecting.
It's like I don't know how you have the. Is that just because you've chosen not to do it, or because you didn't realise, or a bit of both?
I think it was just a bit of both. I think I just wasn't doing them because I was sort of doing the mainline game, and I was enjoying that. And they were going up, and I thought that's fine. But I had plenty of credits. I had loads of credits. But I think now I've got to the end, or I've sort of completed the game, and I'm now doing like the photographs, the rivals. I'm doing the online. I'm started to run out of money. Basically, I think I've bought all the houses apart from one. I've fitted out all the houses with cool garages apart from the one I haven't bought, and the one I need to buy is about 1.5 million. But then I'm like this morning, I went through and just bought all the Audis that I hadn't got to take a photograph of and things like that. So I know there's going to be some serious money in there. I'm hoping, there's potentially, I don't know, like 5 to 10 million in there. But it's got to that point where it's that tipping point where it's gone like, I could do a stream out of this, and this would actually be quite cool, and it'll be quite fun to see how many Forza Horizon edition cars I get. Can I unlock the 66 million credit Ferrari? And exactly what do you get if you don't do a single wheel spin in Forza Horizon and you've got 200 to collect? What does it give you? It's just, I thought it was a quite good question.
Oh, definitely, and the fact that you've actually got to this point without actually redeeming any as well, like that just shows how much time and effort you've put in to grind to get to this point. Because obviously, like you say, you get the cars, you get the credits, and all the other bits. I mean, you'll get a lot of the like the extra horns and the outfits and stuff in there as well that you'll never ever use or need.
I'll get a few pink dresses. Yeah.
But yeah, like the amount of credits that'll be hidden in all that's amazing. That'll be brilliant.
No, and it's just to say, I've just been doing it. It's just been like, I think I looked at the stats yesterday, and I think I've played it for 49 hours. It's probably over 50 hours now. I think my most expensive car is my Porsche, electric Porsche, the Mission R. I think it is the concept car they did. And my most used car is the Aerial Atom, which I have put up to A700, and I've just completely done all the mystery points on it. So, I can crash and not lose £1 million streak. Sorry, is that too soon a game for
you? God damn it. God damn it.
Right, let's get off Forza. So you have completed First Light, apparently, and you did a stream the other day, which is on our YouTube channel as well.
Yeah, I did, yeah. So it was quite... I had to dart, actually, which was annoying, because I just got to a bit where I'd spent building up to it, then it got to the bit where I was actually doing a fair bit of combat, but I had to go get lunch before I started work. So, but yeah, I finished that the other night. I sent this in the group the other day. I absolutely loved it. I think it was such a great build-up to a fantastic finale of that game. I think it's one of them. It's, do you know when you kind of almost have a bit of dread or anxiety when you know a boss fight's coming? You're like, oh, I'm going to have to fight this guy. I'm really not going to like this. And the boss fight at the end was clever. It wasn't too intense, but obviously, as we discussed in the last pod, I'm playing this on one of the easier settings, so maybe that had something to do with it. But I felt like it was challenging, but not to the point where it was going to kick my backside, and I was going to I'm going to have to duck out of this. Finished it on the first run through of the final boss, and it was kind of like it. Without spoiling it too much, 'cause it's quite new. But you basically basically give you the keys to the kingdom at one point, everything. Like you can do everything. There's a really good set piece as well. But yeah, I loved it. Like the actual closing sequence, and his ending like line is just like it just sets it up perfectly for hopefully more Bond games from IO. Because obviously it was the build up of this is how James Bond became to be, and I always thought it didn't feel overly Bond. Do you know what I mean? It felt like it made some references, like the trophies and achievements. They had the same, some of the key quotes from the games and things, and obviously like throughout as well. But I feel like that was the jump off point of it ended with the proper did it did it did you know, and then it did the outro sequence of him walking across and shooting the camera and so on and so forth. So I feel like the intention is now the next game, hopefully that'll come. This is going to be full on, like intense James Bond, more that we come to know. But yeah, I really enjoyed it, Stu. Like I think it's probably going to be up there in a lot of people's game of the years so far. Um, really good looking game, played really nicely. I don't really have many negatives to say about it, apart from what I last said about the hand to hand combat. You just felt a bit fragile. You took a couple hits and you were down and out. Whereas I think it was at its best with the stealth mechanics, and then like the actual shootouts and the set pieces with the guns and things. So yeah, I liked it, really enjoyed it. I think it'd be great to see what else they can bring in terms of more gadgets, more locations, stories, etc. But yeah, I finished that. That's on its way back to Boomerang now. To obviously get more from them, whilst I can still live that renting games dream. But yeah, so that's done and dusted. So yeah, onto the next one of whatever we've got. I've got Assassin's Creed on that list to play. Halo's coming out this month to play. So I've finished that off with the intention of playing a couple of other bigger games before the month is out.
Junkster is 5 to 6 hours according to Bing. Got
Oh,
more
okay.
points.
Yeah.
So yeah, according to Bing, it's about 5 to 6 hours, depending on how good you are, I suppose. Like,
Yeah, how long you spend arguing with it.
yeah, yeah. If you can get all your blocks in a row at the same time, then it's 5 to 6 hours. If you can't, then it's 6 to 16 hours.
Yeah.
So, but no, you mentioned Assassin's Creed. So I have done a couple of since we last podded. I can't think now. We've got game about digging a hole. We've got We'll Follow the Light. We've got Assassin's Creed Black Flag and Doom DLC all up as 1 hour playthroughs now. So I've basically done the first hour of those games and then put them up on YouTube. No commentary, no talking, just literally the first hour. So if you're thinking about buying Assassin's Creed Black Flag, or if you're thinking about buying the Doom DLC, then pop onto the YouTube channel, and then there's the first hour there. No waffling, no talking. It's just literally the first hour ish of the game. Oh, and Lego Batman as well. Doom DLC. Oh my god, I needed to lie down after that. I mean, and say, going back to our point, was I think it came up with how do you want to play this, and I think I played the not like the child's play, but the next one up, nowhere near like this is gonna hurt, this is really gonna hurt. Oh my god, you're going to die. And I thought, right, I got to play an hour. So you start. I think you're in hell, and basically it's you play a level called levels called the Proving Ground. Oh my god, you literally are going fight to fight to fight to fight, and you walk for a bit, and then you know what it's like. Every game like this is the same. You walk into an area and you're like, oh yeah, here we go. This is set up to be a fight, and then it just gets progressively harder and harder and harder. And I think I looked at the timer on OBS and I was like 23 minutes in. I'm like, oh my god, I've still got another 40 minutes to go. And anyway, I got through, and actually the hour worked out pretty well because you finish Proving Grounds. You get in front of I can't think it's the character's name now, but you get in front of this character who was in the main game, and then he turns into this beast which you cannot beat, and then you're literally sent further into hell, and that's when I stopped. So that was good, but as the YouTube thumbnail sort of lays off, I needed to lay down afterwards. It was like real like. And then I think that was the Tuesday. Actually, no, that was the Wednesday because I couldn't do Doom on the Tuesday because I was busy. And then on the Thursday, Assassin's Creed Black Flag came out. So I did an hour of Black Flag. I don't think I played the original because it looks doesn't look familiar to me. But I was it really hooked me within the first 20 minutes. It sort of got me back to my Assassin's Creed, Odyssey, Valhalla, sort of like, oh, this is really good. I'm really enjoying this. This has got me all over it for my Assassin's Creed ness. Where obviously in the last one, can't think what it's called now, but the last one, I think we both zoned out of that. And
Shadows, wasn't it?
Shadows, I think you sent the game back, and I've still got it, but I'm just like got no desire to go into it. So they've been both good. I mean, Assassin's Creed Black Flag, you'll really enjoy that when it comes in.
Yeah, I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed it when it first came out. I mean, I think it was because it was such like a detraction away from the main Assassin's Creed storyline and obviously the settings and the worlds that we'd become accustomed to. Like we'd had no sort of build up to this. We'd really had no pirate game where you could basically take on a ship. Like from the get go, you were literally thrown in a pirate ship within the first 10 minutes.
You start on a pirate ship, and you've got to blow up the other pirate ships around you, and then you crash, and then you pick up you kill the assassin, and then you put on the assassin's uniform, and then you go to a meeting where the person thinks you're an assassin. That's sort of how it starts.
Yeah. So and we'd never seen that before. So we've had ship combat from one since then, but yeah, it was almost like this is such a a different direction to the previous games that yeah, I really enjoyed it. So and I watched the first hour that you put up. I was like, they've done a really good job from what I can see of like remaking it. It looks fantastic. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that because yeah, Shadows just really wasn't for me. I don't know what about it just wasn't, but it just didn't vibe with me at all. So yeah, so I'm really looking forward to going back to that. And to be honest with you, like I said to you, like I'm really looking forward to like actually playing some older games as part of this. Either through Game Pass, picking up some PS4 games, 360 games, and playing them on these consoles because obviously it gives it that little boost from playing it on the Series X or the PS5. So I'm actually quite looking forward to going back and playing some old games. So this will be a good itch to scratch of this is how I remember Assassin's Creed and it'd be nice to get some other, or a return to that sort of thing. Maybe a sequel to that, or just a return to how Assassin's Creed once was. I'd like him to really explore World War Two, World War One setting for an Assassin's Creed. I know that's sort of been bandied around a bit. I don't know how it'd work, but to explore that world, I don't know. But yeah, it'd be nice to go back and play an Assassin's Creed that I really enjoyed again.
Well, I think you will. If it wasn't for the fact that I was trying to get these first hours up, and then I will get onto my last game. That sort of snuck up on me, and then I also know that Alters has got DLC out now, and I really enjoyed Alters when that was on Game Pass. I think it still is on Game Pass, but so that's another game I want to get to. And then I've paid the £20 to go up to the Halo Combat Evolved this Thursday coming, I think. So 2 days if this goes. No, actually no. Yeah, this should go live tomorrow as we record this. So next week, sort of thing, that comes up as early access. But yeah, if it wasn't for that, and it wasn't for that I was trying to rinse Forza, I would definitely be playing Assassin's Creed because I really enjoyed that hour, and I really only just sort of broken the surface, got into the character, got to my first sort of meeting with the person that I was trying to go and meet, and then I sort of stopped because I had to do some work. So I am looking forward to going back, and you will really enjoy it. But another game you've been playing is Quarantine Zone.
Yeah, so that's just come out on Game Pass recently, and I was again just sort of rifling through Game Pass to see what come out, and you get the alerts if this is now available and so. Let's have a look, see what it is. And it's you are basically just a checkpoint or security guard on as it says, a quarantine zone. Zombie apocalypse has hit. You've basically got this compound of survivors and so on and so forth, and your job is to scan people and check them for infection. And you either let them into the camp, they're fine, they're not infected. You can put them in quarantine to see if their symptoms get any worse, or you can send them to be incinerated straight away, Stu. If you think they are a danger to you and the camp, you send them straight to the incineration bin and they get torched straight away. So it's this might be the same people. I haven't researched it, but you might be able to check while we're recording. But there was a game a while back called Papers, Please.
I was literally just about to say this reminds me of Papers, Please.
Yeah, so again, if it's the same people, it might well be. But again, where you were in immigration or passport control in that game, you had the authority to say you're either in or you're out. This is a bit more brutal because you are actually like you sentencing people to death almost immediately in some cases. But yeah, I did maybe about an hour and a half of this, I'd say. So you like say you're on the checkpoint, you wave people through, you check them, you look at their eyes, the skin, the body, if they've got bite marks, if they've got any wounds, that sort of thing. You get some more tools to check the symptoms. So you get a reflex hammer to hit them with, see how the reflexes are. You get a little scanner that you can scan underneath the clothes, again, see if there's any hidden bruises, scarring, that sort of thing. A gun that checks their temperature and heart rate. So again, infection can show different symptoms and such. So yeah, there's a little bit of base management. You can upgrade your base. The size of the quarantine zone. You have to manage your stock levels of your food, your medical resources, etc. There's almost like a tower defense bit as well. So you control the drone that obviously infected zombies will try and attack your base. You fly it with a drone and you shoot them down. You've got different guns and such to take them on with. So yeah, so again, it's just a little sort of quirky little game that again, if it wasn't on Game Pass, you'd probably never really come across it. And I'm imagining it probably came to Steam first. It seems like that sort of thing that would have come on Steam originally. But yeah, it's like you say, you earn money for the amount of people that you've let through. You have a quota to meet of people, survivors. You send them to either be soldiers or to put them towards research, and it just builds from there. But yeah, you can get your base infected, and it all just ends in disaster. Or like say, I think I took a screen recording of this. You can put people in like this chamber that's quarantine, and there was a button. I was like, how does this button do? And it basically just incinerated everybody that was in quarantine. And inadvertently, everybody that was in there had the infection. And I was like, oh, okay, like fair enough. That worked out well, because you get punished if you kill people that you shouldn't have killed, basically. But yeah, I was like, oops, I didn't mean to do that. But then, oh well, it worked out all right in the end. So yeah, so it's just like say I imagine it might sort of die off a little bit, its appeal quite quick, because I don't know what other tools you can really get to test these people beyond like checking their eyes, the heart rate, the temperature, and the bodies and such. I don't know what else it's got to give beyond that. But yeah, just as a little check off for the old monthlies and what have you, it's quite good. So I'll probably nip back to that and see what else it's got to give. But it's definitely worth it. Again, just a bit like Junkster, really, for just an hour or two's worth of just see what it's about. It's definitely worth checking out.
Yeah, so it was looking at the internet. It was penciled for November 2025 release, but everything else looks like it came out on January 2026 on most platforms. And no, it's not by the same people. Quarantine Zone was developed by Brigadier Games, whilst Papers, Please was created by solo developer Lucas Pope.
Fair enough. It's very much of that ilk, so that it just crossed my mind. It was like it very much could be like maybe they found their niche. This is their thing of they found a niche of this is the type of game that we make. So it could have been them, but yeah, it's just a fun little thing of just yeah, just that sort a different sort of vibe of the zombie apocalypse and survival genre.
Yeah, and talking about sort of like nice little games, Anthony made me aware yesterday, I think it was, or the day before, that Moss had come out for Moss, the Relic of something. I can't remember the full name of it now, but Moss has come out. So Moss was a PSVR game, and they had two, book one, book two, and it was a obviously PSVR where you were a watcher, and there was a little mouse that you controlled in front of you, and then you sort of picked the mouse up and you moved things from the mouse, and you sort of interacted with the mouse to help it go along its sort of platformer journey. And then a few weeks ago or a few months ago, I'd heard that it was coming out as a full-on platformer game on all the different consoles. And Anthony jumped into it, and I literally downloaded it straight away. I mean, it was I think it was just under 17 Great British pounds. And that was a no-brainer for me because it was like knowing what I played of the VR game. This has got me written over. This is a Saturday morning, cup of coffee, pan of chocolat, just literally like just doing something which is just getting the brain working, but not really hard.
Yeah.
So I have recorded 2 hours of it, and I was planning on overlaying this podcast with that. But now I've got my nice new background. I didn't want people not to see that. So I will put up, or I have put up, so live on the YouTube channel now is the first hour of it. And then I might actually sit up here and play the rest of it up here and record it. And it's a great little game. It's just the levels are relatively short. You just walk through the levels. You have to pull a block out or push a block in for Quill. Quill the mouse makes this adorable little like noise as he lifts himself up, like straining, and then a few times because obviously we're gamers and most of the people listening and watching this is gamers. So when you start a level and your character starts off facing straight, the first thing you do is go back because know that there's a secret or something like that there. And it's just got this adorable animation where you think, is that water or is that a bank size? You jump into it, you kill Quill, and he comes out and he just looks at you disapprovingly, shakes and like to get the water off of him, and then goes, right, let's carry on. And it's just such an adorable little game. And yeah, I mean, I've got 2 hours in. There's like 3 different things I've had to get, and I've just changed like where I am or a beach or something like that. But honestly, unlike Doom, which I enjoyed, but I was waiting for that hour to end, 2 hours playing Moss this morning just went like that. Really, really good game.
Yeah, it's strange, isn't it, how something like, obviously, like you say, games can be quite intense, can't they? And it's like, oh my god, this feels like it's quite hard work. But yeah, when it's nice to be absorbed in a game, in a way, you just like blink and it's like, oh my god, like where's this time gone? Do you know what I mean? Where you just, like you say, it's getting your brain working, but you just zone off. You don't check your phone, you don't look at anything else, and just in your own little world. So it's nice that it does that because it's rare that actually happens now, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's sometimes you just want a game which you don't have to think. And I think that's why I've sort of really cane in Forza, because I'm sort of busy with work, and the limited time I get to play, I've almost been like, look, do you know what? I just want to play something that I could just not really think about. And Moss, you do have to think about, but you don't really have to think about it. If you stand there hard enough and you press those buttons enough times, you realize, oh, okay, what I've got to do is move A to B and B to C, and then go through there, come back, and then do that, and you sort of get that dopamine rush of like unlocking that level, and then you just carry on to the next one, and then you can just jump in, dip in, and dip out whenever you want.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's just rare that you get those games into it. Like you say, just when you don't want to have to worry about complex, patterns of button sequences. And again, because you haven't got the time to dedicate, you don't want to feel like you're either rubbish at it or it's kicking your backside every time, do you? So yeah, it's just nice to be able to nip in and out to these things and just lose yourself for an hour or so, and then just be able to do the same again when you come back to it.
Yeah, and it's a perfect rewards game. So
Mm.
if you've check your Microsoft rewards, check your big rewards, because if you've got a 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 pound dollar voucher sitting there, it's that perfect game where it's just like, oh, I might not have played that, but it's, in my opinion, if you like sort of that type of game, Super Lucky's Tale, that type of platformer, then it's worth the £17 and what would that be, sort of $21, $22 or something like that. It's definitely worth it. So but right, that's us talking about what we're playing. Now onto the news. But before we get onto the news, if we could please ask you to rate, review, leave us some feedback on whatever platform you are listening or watching on, that would be greatly appreciated. Our message from Marcus last week, I think it was, about playing easy games. We actually had a conversation about that on the other podcast the other day, because I was asking people to send in questions, and I used his question as an example on that podcast, about this is the question we had. And Simon, who I do the podcast with, is very much for the fact of yes, playing games on easy is cheating.
We could
I
try and
told him he's
justify
wrong.
it. Yeah, we could try and justify it as much as well, but no, you just need to grow up, get on with it.
No, and I think we did have a YouTube comment. I'll see if I can find it when you're doing the first story. But I think we did have a YouTube comment about it as well. No, yeah. So please do send in your questions because actually it's quite interesting when you have conversations like that and see how other people play games. But on to the news. The first news story, Steve, is with you, and Xbox fans are not happy.
No, well, obviously, given the recent news that we've had and following the last podcast that we had about, I think didn't we say this was coming? We it's one thing that we podded, and then it came out.
Yeah.
The news broke again just a couple of days afterwards that it was predicted that we were going to see a massive, lot of layoffs from Xbox and Microsoft, and we did. As it happened a couple of days after. Was it 3,200? I think in total across
3,600, I think it was, across two hits.
Yeah, so in two separate waves of Xbox stroke Microsoft employees that were being let go and made redundant. But yeah, this is basically Xbox fans and players voicing their upset and discontent. So they've got a fan feedback website, which obviously, as it said, clues in the title, they ask for suggestions, comments, feedback, and things. But this has gone sort of to the next level of they're calling for an end to these layoffs and the sort of the negative news that's coming out. Obviously, just it's a complete not a knee jerk. It's a protectionist sort of mentality of people like, oh my god, like this needs to stop. Like if we want to keep Xbox as a brand, as a platform, we want to protect it. So please stop sort of hurting itself in a way, I guess. You know what I mean? Don't stop doing sort of damage to your own brand and your own reputation before it might be irreparable. Which obviously, as we knew from that this sort of large scale redundancy layoff sweep was going to come. Just to recover some cost for Xbox and Microsoft in the hope to level it off. A separate news article that we haven't picked up on that I saw was that their projected number of Game Pass subscriptions was nowhere near what they expect. I think they wanted 70 million and they got 30 million
30 or something
like
like that. Yeah, they expected to be at 70 million by now. I mean, come on, guys. I mean, you put the price up by double. You're not. What's that going to do? Get more people to sign up in column A, or get more people to leave in column B?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
you really made an F up there.
Yeah, and I know some people that had it cancelled it when it went up, and they've still not gone back to it, even though it's got cheaper. So again, it's one of them things. You might say it's people are cutting their nose off to spite the face, maybe, but it's one of those, isn't it? Is that don't mess with this. I've got some things in life that you mess with my fuel prices, my electricity prices, and food prices. Don't mess with my Xbox. My gaming time is precious. Do not mess with this. This is the one thing that I love in life that allows me to escape from how bad the rest of the world is. But yeah, this.
At least you didn't say your family then. Escape from your family.
Well, yeah, there is that. That's what I go to work for. But yeah, it's it's had like over some of these things have had like over 3,000 votes. Expressing frustration with Xbox's decision making, but again, we knew hard decisions were coming. This next phase was never going to be easy. There's not a magic wand. There's not a magic money pit. It's a lot of industries and businesses. Same with when a new sort of, I guess, party or government comes in. There's got to be some, do you know what I mean? There's got to be some leveling off, balancing the books. And it's not easy. It's not nice. It's, these are people that are losing their jobs. But whether, the comments from Xbox fans is making a difference to Microsoft, whether it makes them change opinion, gives them an idea that they might not have thought of. Do you know what I mean? Of can we do this instead of this? And it sounds ridiculous, but they might not have thought of it. They might not have thought of these, especially when, in the nicer respect, Charms come in that's not experienced in the video game industry. Having that bit more of inside fan feedback might make them change tack a little bit, or maybe not be so brutal in some ways, or change something. I don't know, but Xbox fans are clearly making their voices heard on their official fan feedback website. It's not just forums or things that they could probably just disregard and ignore. This is their official feedback website where someone somewhere is going to be like, oh, like yeah, this is not making great reading, guys. Like, what are we going to do? And they might ignore it. They might ignore it, but Microsoft and Xbox fans are definitely staying quiet on this one.
I think the thing is, the end of the day, I think we've said it on a previous pod, which is when you make big acquisitions like Call of Duty, when you take over Activision Blizzard King, you're gonna have doubles of people, and you could run those businesses as separate entities, or you can amalgamate them into one business. So unfortunately, everybody was happy, and everybody sort of looked at COD and was like, "Oh, COD's coming on board." But I think that actually that was a massive mistake for them, and I think that with Sharma coming into it, a lot of people initially said, "Oh, she's been brought in to get it to a point where they can sell it off." And I don't know, part of me doesn't think that's possible. It's more a fact that it would get broken up. But I do think that it will stay together as an entity. And look, let's look at Sony. Sony made the massive faux pas recently with the physical discs, and everybody was throwing that, was it 2013 commercial back in their face on how you share PlayStation games. And then literally, it was about the same time Microsoft inadvertently, I don't think on purpose, announced that they were trying to find a way to digitize discs you actually have and make them available on their consoles going forward. So if the Helix doesn't have a disc drive, which it's more than likely probably going to not have one, is can we take a copy of Halo on the original Xbox, which is backwards compatible, rip it somehow into the device, which lives on a storage which is connected to the device somehow. So um yeah, I just it's a hard time. I mean, again, we've said it before, gaming is, I think, in a hard place. I think not huge numbers of people are playing games. A lot of people are sticking to just playing their subscriptions. In the same way as people aren't buying movies, they're just watching when it comes to Netflix or if it comes on Sky. What was the one I wanted to watch recently? The Michael Jackson sort of biopic, because it's made by the same guy who did Bohemian Rhapsody. But that came up on Apple for like £20. That came up on Sky for £20. That came up on Kaleidoscope, which is my movie server, for about £20. And I just sat there and went, no, do you know what? I pay £9 a month for Sky Cinema. I'll just wait for it to come out to Sky Cinema. Molly, my daughter, recently did the same with Wicked, the second one. She really wanted to watch it. And she said to me, no, don't worry, Dad, don't buy it. I'll just wait for a few months and wait until it comes on Sky Movies and I'll watch it on there. And of course, now it's come on to Sky Movies and she watches it. I think people, unless it's something they really, really want to buy, I think that they're just going to hold off. And unfortunately, that is going to affect it on the bottom line of where studios are going to basically get sold off or moved around. And I think Xbox got in a bit of a mess with all these acquisitions they were making, keeping fans happy. And I think the inevitable has happened, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's it, innit? And just like many other things, gaming's very much a luxury. It's if you can afford to buy a new game every now and again, fantastic. But a lot of people, sadly, given everything that's happened around the world, they might not be able to. Like with energy costs and food costs and fuel costs and everything else going up exponentially, it's probably made it not possible. But like say, so the spending, everyone was like, oh yeah, Xbox, look at them going and buy these people and blah blah. Yeah, it's great, but clearly nobody was keeping an eye on the pounds and the pence or the dollars and the cents. Well, we're spending this money, but realistically, what's it bringing in? And it's great that we've bought these games, but well, it's not going to actually make us that much money.
Well, especially like with COD, with the amount of money they've never said, but the amount of money they lost because COD was free. I mean, people like myself and Anthony who would buy it on day one were getting it free on Game Pass for whatever we were paying, £22 a month, when it came out, and then we weren't buying the 50, 60, 70 pound version of it. So straight away there's 100 and let's say worst case scenario, £140 worth of lost income just from me and Anthony, who would be day one purchases.
That's it. And even the people that would, I think I'd said it to you about maybe doing the same with Ubisoft Premium Plus, about maybe getting the free month or whatever it is to get Black Flag, the remaster. Well, how many people signed up for a month for, like you say, 16 quid, played the campaign that they would normally play anyway, then canned it, to save themselves 50, 60 quid, whatever it is. It just makes sense to do it that way. If there's a cheaper alternative, then why would you not do it?
Exactly. And yeah, exactly. It's like, okay, I'll just get this, can it, do it in a month. Worst case scenario, 2 months. Even if it takes me 2 months, 2 months at 20 quid, that's 40 quid. The game's still 60, £70, so they still lost revenue. So, but talking about Game Pass, Anthony put up a really cool, it was True Achievements website the other day, put up the top rated Game Pass debuts of 2026 so far. And I thought there was some quite interesting reading in there. I mean, obviously, Forza Horizon 6 is number one. There's no shadow of a doubt there. But Subnautica 2 was number two. NBA 2K26 was number three. EA Sports FC was number four. Then number five was, I found quite funny, which was RV There Yet, which is a co-op RV driving simulator game, which I looked at the other day and I'm like, oh, that looks good. That could be a fun little thing, a little bit like your quarantine game. But then I realised it was a co-op 2-player game, and I'm like, oh, do you know what? I can't be bothered to try and say, oh, let's play with someone or find someone. So I just didn't play it. So to see that was at number five, I thought that was quite cool.
Yeah, I mean, I dabbled for about 10 minutes and give up on it. I'm not going to lie. It was one of those where it's like you've got to keep. You had like a fatigue meter and health, like hunger and hydration. It's like, oh no, I just can't be bothered. So yeah, so I tiled out of that pretty quickly. But it is nice, like you said, it's nice. Like that you've got, like you say, inevitably Falls is going to be the biggest one. If you do this in a month's time, Halo's going to be up there inevitably, in Gears later in the year. So, but it's nice that you, like you say, you've got RV There Yet. High on Life 2 is number 6. Card Shop Simulator 7. You Escape the Backrooms 9. Star Wars Outlaws number 10. Which
Yeah, that's good.
That's good. Albeit it's that slightly older game. Cyberpunk at 11, which again, a game that's a few years old. That's quite interesting. Avatar Frontiers, again, that's quite high.
Anthony's favourite game at number 18.
Yeah, Vampire Crawlers, yeah, which he's just absolutely rinsed, completed, 100%ed for the achievement, so fair play to him for that. But again, these are the sort of games that historically you'd probably just see on Steam. That it's nice that they're coming to Game Pass that you can play on console. So again, if you've got the ROG, either version, these would be games that you could probably just tick off quite nicely. But yeah, it's good to see a nice mix in there, which I think is a nice way and place to be for Game Pass. Do you know what I mean? That it's not just, oh, look, the Call of Duty's there, oh, Halo's there, or Forza's there, or Gears of War's there, and da-da-da, and da-da-da, and da-da-da. And I think that's what Xbox did really well in the early days of like the arcade. These are small games that otherwise you will not experience anywhere else. Stick them in here, and people get to play your game, which I think again that's a nice reflection of what's going on with Game Pass there. So yes, you've got your big first parties, but your smaller third party titles are actually getting a good showing of clearly they're doing a good job of putting them in front of people, because otherwise they wouldn't be in this top 20 list.
Yeah, I mean, Avatar Frontiers of Pandora, that is a very Far Cry. That is pretty much Far Cry with blue people.
Pretty much.
And you could fly. And actually, I did play it. I mean, I probably sunk about 15 hours into it, and I was enjoying it. And I don't know why I stopped, but I'd stopped it for some reason. I've not gone back. I think I paid for it. I bought it. I think it was a Christmas discount or something like that. But that was quite good. But things like roadside research and those type of things, which were those we saw at the expo and those bits and pieces. So it's a prime example of what Game Pass and PS Plus, if this was PlayStation, is good for. So going back to our story on the last pod about potentially stripping out third-party games or reducing some third-party games from Game Pass, this is proof that people play third-party games, not just Madden and NFL and those type of games. They do play those little games that you just look at and you go, oh, I know, I'll give it a go. And that is what Game Pass is.
Yeah, exactly, and it's finding that balance, isn't it? Like we said, it's the balance of the big, the little, the in between. Um, yeah, it'd be it'd be a real shame if then suddenly like these smaller games just were lost as part of this. Yeah, so it would be, but yeah, it's clearly evidential that it's working in some way, shape, or form.
So our next story, talking about games not getting canned. Hold on a second. New Halo multiplayer project canned. Right, okay. All right, Steve. Over to you,
Scrap
mate.
that. Yeah,
Scrap
scrap
that.
that.
Over to you. Let's rewind.
Yeah. Yes. So, in a continuation of Microsoft and Xbox canning things, yes, Halo Studios reportedly having a multiplayer Halo game cancelled. So again, as part of the layoffs, the studio losses, development team losses. Clearly, projects, upcoming titles that are in the works and pipelines have clearly been very, very stringently and strictly considered. And well, where are you with this game? How far is it going to go? How much does it cost? How much will it cost, etc. And if it ain't going to work, well, sorry, it ain't gonna see the light of day. And it's a strange one because obviously Halo multiplayer as part of the main games historically has been a massive thing, and whether or not it's been based on what people have seen of it, is it necessarily anything new, anything different? Is it going to be worth it, etc.? It's been canned, but yeah, this is obviously just a separate, just a multiplayer standoff basically, or a standalone project. But yeah, the news has been sort of verified almost have been 100% true. So yeah, so it's codenamed Eker. It was been worked on by Certain Affinity. So these guys have done like support work for Halo and Call of Duty before. So two big games with prowess and obviously multiplayer. Um, significance that have a lot of experience to maybe deliver something. Um, but yeah, it's it's a shame to lose something. It was described as like a super big team battle idea, which obviously I'm guessing is like sort of these massive multiplayer online things, sort of quite expansive, large scale warfare type deal. But yeah, it's
I noticed there it's sort of the game origins began with a totally different project, which was known as Tatanka, which I remember because it was Jez Corden has stated this is 100% true.
mm,
Who don't know, Jez Corden is, I think he's editor of Windows Central. So I was thinking, oh, is this just Tatanka again? But then they say in this, which was a Battle Royale-esque Halo game. So this looks like it's sort of been made out of the ashes of that. I mean,
mm,
I would have. I mean, I loved it. I mean, I played Halo Infinite multiplayer. Was probably one of the only Halo multiplayers that I really, really got into. Fortnite, Forza Horizon sort of obsession of 2026 sort of standards, where I was playing it. I think I even bought some gaming pad thingies for my joysticks
yeah.
just to try and make me better. They didn't work. So no, it's a shame.
Yeah, it does. If you further down the article that we've got here from IGN, it does say that staff were pulled from this project to go to the campaign evolved development. So I'm guessing maybe it's just been not half baked. It's probably doing it a disservice. But it does say as well that it doesn't seem like it was kind of as a result of the recent Xbox reset. So I don't know. I kind of find that hard to believe. I feel like if it was something that was worth saving and keeping going, they'd probably be like, well, we've got the campaign evolved, but we're working on this as well. That's going to come at a later date. For it to just be canned in its entirety by the team itself seems a bit like a decision that I don't think they would make really. But yeah, obviously we've no idea what condition it was in, what state it is in, how close it was to being completed, that sort of thing. So yeah, it's a shame because again, that would have been something else to bolster Xbox in terms of another string to its bow in terms of trying to maybe revive and keep things afloat, maybe in light of everything that's happening. But yeah, it just seems to be sadly a continuation of things that are going to get lost at the wayside recently.
Yeah, and I think at the end of the day, whether you what your stance on exclusives is your stance, but obviously Halo Campaign Evolved is coming out on PlayStation, so that's going to be a money earner. That is going to go. I will put it that will easily make top 5 on PlayStation. If I was a PS only person, I'd buy arguably one of the best games ever made as a remake just to see what it's like. So it's going to be a top 5 PS charts game. So actually taking people onto that, and that's gonna make you money. You could see why they did it, but it's just a shame that it's at the cost of another game that looks like it's already come out of the ashes from another game. So when will we get another Halo? Probably around Helix, but we don't know when that's going to be.
Who knows, Stu? Who knows? But like you say, it's just it's a shame given that it could be so successful. There'll probably a lot of PlayStation gamers that, like you said, never played Halo. They're probably quite new to Halo. They might even not be familiar that this is a remake of the original game. Same it might be a brand new game. So getting a brand new multiplayer with it as well would have been like brilliant result. Again, probably a nice little money spinner. But yeah, there we go.
And I can't wait. I mean, annoyingly, I've got to go to a meeting on Thursday morning now because I was planning on playing it Thursday morning. So, but I'm going to play it. I'm going to do the first hour of it. So, cannot wait. So, right. So we've done quite a lot of news about this side of my studio. So we're now going to go over to this side of my studio, ish. So the next story is from the amazing GameStop CEO. Sarcastic laugh. So Sony killing physical game does not matter, says GameStop CEO. Physical video games are no longer a significant or important part of GameStop's business, says Ryan Cohan as he shares his thoughts on Sony ending physical disc production, saying it doesn't matter at all. He continued, software in the past mattered. Today, software makes up less than 12% of our business, and collectibles makes up the other half of the business. Over half of the business. To say, if he thinks the other half of the business is at 12%, I don't think he should be a CEO. But makes up over half of the business, so it is totally irrelevant. Collectibles like Pokemon trading cards have become much more a large chunk of the business, accounting to 41% sales. And it's no different. I mean, I don't think. Do we have Game Over anymore? I know,
it's pretty much gone.
I know, like when I went into Game in Tunbridge Wells, Anthony's favourite game shop. I'm not even going to try and guess what episode of podcast that was on, but there's a great story about Anthony and Game. I'll get him to tell it on the podcast one day. But yeah, I mean, I know the last time I went in there, it was literally like there was a smattering of games, but all the games were like GTA 6 is alleged to be. It's a game case with code in it. And the rest of it was Funko Pops and T-shirts and the same format, really, that places like HMV and all that lot of posters and all that lot are. So it doesn't surprise me. But then if your business is not physical disc-based because most people are buying it online, then yeah, of course it's not going to matter. Still doesn't mean that people are not peed off about it.
No, well, this is it. It's a bit of a misleading title because it doesn't matter to him and his business, and this obviously, as we discussed previously, when they stuck that massive bid in for eBay, like they're clearly making money elsewhere somehow to to be able to even be considered to buy eBay out. But yeah, it like you say, a game over here they all disappeared into Sports Direct, and I'm fairly certain they've all gone from Sports Direct now. I'm fairly certain. But yeah, you walked in there, like you say, it's Lego sets, it was Yu-Gi-Oh, Lorcana, Pokemon, Funko Pops, blah blah blah. It was everything else but games. They stopped doing second-hand games, accepting trade-ins. So, it's not surprising because the world has changed, and we don't have physical, real bricks and mortar gaming places anymore. Anyway, it matters on the whole, but to him, it doesn't matter. I guess he's trying to be. Whether he's trying to do it as some sort of like making some sort of point and stand, like, yeah, do what you want, mate. It don't matter to us. Like, I don't know whether he's just trying to be just bold about it. But yeah, it matters to the wider industry, to his particular business and GameStop. No, probably doesn't. But yeah, like you say, you can still sell the cards, the digital. They probably make the money more, I guess, on maybe people buying gift cards, maybe for Xbox and PlayStation now. I want to buy a £20 gift card, or V-Bucks or FIFA, whatever
But
nonsense they're on now.
I don't think I can't remember if we talked about it on the pod, but I remember hearing somewhere the other day that Steam are stopping selling physical cards because of copying counterfeits. So I did hear the other day I'm pretty sure it was on another podcast that they were sort of that Gabe was sort of said that they will stop making physical cards with codes on it because they're getting pirated or getting copied so badly that it's costing them money. So they're only going to go down the route of being able to buy them digitally from. I mean, I don't know whether you've ever bought a card from Amazon, for instance, but you get emailed a code, you redeem the code. CD keys is the same. You buy it, you get the code, you redeem it, and I think that's the way that they're going. So that may be a way that some of those other things go. I mean, I personally, I'm quite surprised that if GTA does come out as a physical edition with a code in the box, that's like rife for piracy, or at least sort of selling like like fake concert ticket type
Yeah,
people.
easily.
People counterfeiting it, selling it down the pub, thinking it's a 20 quid game to someone they've never met before, but realizes the code doesn't exist and they've just copied a code that's official code 20, 30, 40 times. I got an idea now. I need to go get printer out.
See, that's a good version of the story we last spoke about. You've not actually really spent any money there, have you? So
Nope.
yeah, that's no, do not do piracy.
Do not do piracy.
Before we get shut down, do not do piracy.
Do not do piracy. Do not get your Netflix discs through and copy them. Actually, no, you can't do that anymore either. Right, let's quickly get out of this hole. Let's reverse out of this hole. So the next story is back to our greenish side, which is with you, and it's about Fallout.
Yeah, so obviously, I hopefully predicted that as part of the Xbox showcase, that we might see some Fallout news. We did, but not what we wanted. We in a sort of Twitter or X thread as it is now. Bethesda.
I go on Twitter every morning to put stuff off at Inside CI up, and every morning I will type Twitter in rather than X. So I still call it Twitter.
Well, I didn't realise it was a separate group and part of this. And until very, very recently, you didn't have to update it from Twitter to X. If you just didn't update the app, it stayed as Twitter, and they weren't forcing it to change. Until now, I think they've forced it to say, well, look, you've had long enough now. It has to be done as X. But anyway, yeah, I still call it Twitter because X is just a stupid name. But that's a different story altogether. But anyway, Bethesda put out a statement about their future, basically road mapped out what's coming. So they basically said that Starfield continues. Basically, that they're going to continue with Starfield. Fallout 76 is still continuing. Obviously, they've just done the new DLC for it, but there's plans to obviously keep going with that. But they did also say this, which was very interesting. We also know many players want to revisit previous Fallout experiences. While we're not announcing any dates today, we have been working on remasters for both Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas. So they confirmed that. And they also said Fallout is one of our biggest priorities today. Fallout 5 remains our long-range destination, and we have multiple Fallout projects in active development right now. So Fallout 5 is clearly being worked on in some capacity. They have an idea for it. How much resource has been put towards it, who knows? Same for these Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas remasters, which, again, we discussed this before. Why they didn't come out at the time of the Fallout TV series. You could have done one another, like Fallout 3 came out with the first series, New Vegas came out with the second series, or whatever variation you might want to do, which would have made sense, because Fallout, the second series, actually features quite a bit from New Vegas. It's got Mr. House and the whole kit and caboodle, so that would have been a perfect tie-in. But yeah, they clearly are doing it, but again, we haven't put this in this channel of news that we've got, but it was sort of clear that they were going through Xbox were going through the first party studios and basically shoving a rocket with the backside of what you're doing, get on with it, and let's just get some games out, which I know it's easier than that, and it's not just quite as simple as make a game. But if you've got a project, let's double down on it. Let's get it gone. Let's get on with it. Let's not have 5 projects on at one time. Do that, finish it, next one, because, again, as we know, people want games. They want the series, they want the games. They don't want to wait 10 years for the next Fallout, the next Oblivion, the next whatever. Just put everything into it. Let's get it gone, let's get it on with, and I hope that does happen in the nicest way possible, that, again, you don't want people working to the bone and working silly hours and blah, 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 but just this is the perfect thing to help Xbox right now.
Well, you can't help but wonder whether there was a conversation between Phil and Todd at some point, which was like, Todd, we want you to make Fallout 5. And Todd's like, yeah, but I want to finish Elder Scrolls first. But we really want you to make it. Let's give it to another studio. They can help you. No, no, no. I want to make it. Oh, okay, that's fine. We'll get round to it when you get round to it. And then
Hmm.
obviously, I think the new brooms come in, Sharma's come in, and just gone like, guys, what are we doing? I mean, I'm reading on your Twitter feed here that we'd like to congratulate Kelter Films and Amazon Studios on the 10 Emmys nominated for Fallout Season 2, and production 3 is already underway. Fallout is in people's minds if they have Amazon Prime. So, and obviously they've done a great job with getting Fallout 76 there and constantly updating it. But to go, look, here you go, here's like we just talked about with Assassin's Creed, here's a rejigged game. It's a little bit nicer. We've put it through the washing machine, we've cleaned it up. Sorry, James is now shouting, and you don't just put a game through the washing machine and clean it. Do you know how much it takes? But he's, to get something out, even if it was in between the middle of fall season 2 of Fallout, because I think there was a bit of a delay. But yeah, I mean, reading down here as well. I mean, it's let me just move it up. Fallout Shelter continues to be the most popular way to experience Fallout on the go, with more than 250 million players. Season where was it? Starfield, over 17 million players have logged in, with over 1 billion hours to date. Starfield remains an important part of our future as we end in year 3. And it's all really, really good news. So, let's just, there's some fantastic studios out there. Let them do some weird and wonderful things with the Fallout, like Halo Wars, and do some weird stuff. We had the Go games, didn't we? Completely different, but we had like the Go games, which were like mobile games for key brands like Hitman. It was still very much Hitman, but it was a very different idea of a game and got people still talking about Hitman. So yeah, let's get some more Fallout stuff there, because I'm itching to play some more.
Yeah, definitely. And if you look further down, it's like Fallout 5 is currently in pre-production. The Elder Scrolls 6 is our primary development focus today, with the majority of our team currently working on the next chapter of the franchise. So that just obviously Fallout 5 is coming, but again, it's as and when. And I like you say, the new brooms come in, and I know they won't be doing this, but it's almost like they've come in, they've opened door to office. There's a lot of people were sat with the feet on the desk and just playing games like, oh no, like like look busy, like quick, like like type, like and obviously it isn't like that, but it's like why, like you say, we've got like we're losing these development teams. Can't they be redeployed? Like there's you're not like for want of a better phrase, you're a floating team. You are a team of developers or talent or whatever. You go to a studio that is required for you in terms of whatever. Right? They need you for Fallout. Go work on Fallout. They need you for Call of Duty. You go work on that and da 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 da. So you don't have a set aboard, I guess, is what I'm saying. But at least you can be redeployed to say, well, I'm a talented coder, developer, level designer, writer, whatever, animator, and I've worked on these various projects, and that surely breeds creativity, diversity, a lot of new ideas that people might not have apart from the same team that's working on the same franchise again. Why can't we do that? If Xbox was to become a publisher, or like get out of more console and like we're going to just make great games, well, right, this is what we're going to do. Work on that, work on that, work on that, work on that, and yeah, I think this is the thing when one studio has many different great titles like Bethesda, they've got Fallout and they've got Elder Scrolls, they've got Starfield and so on and so forth. But yeah, but just get on with it. Just have a bit of urgency. Do you know what I mean? 10 years is a long time to wait for a sequel. A very, very long time.
Yeah, and I think it's like sometimes you have everything in life. You give that same brief, that same thing to someone else, and they come up with a completely different idea. It doesn't matter what job you do, what business you're in. It's exactly the same. You look at it a certain way, someone else comes in and look at it a different way. So, there could be some really cool games out there. There could be some really good versions of, Halo, of Gears, of Fallout, that people could just go, do you know what? We've always thought that we could do a Fallout style X, Y, and Z. And yes, that may not be Fallout 5, that may not be Halo Infinite 2, but it's still keeping that um that IP in
Mhm.
front of the people. So yeah, I believe that it's going to be a painful year for Microsoft, for Xbox, and I hope that once this turmoil is over, it might be a leaner, meaner machine which does have the ability to turn out games. And yeah, maybe it's like, no, you need to get around to doing that. We're going to bring someone else in to do it. And actually, the powers that be sort of say, right, this is what we want. We're going to give you some assistance from this team because this team are really good at doing X. And Anthony will get another Viva Pinata.
That's all we need, isn't it? Realistic, that's all we need. You know, and a separate tangent, but obviously Playground are working on Fable, you know, who made Forza. So clearly you can go from we do this really well, but we can also work on this game as well. Do you know what I mean? So widening the horizon and scope of what people can do. So yeah, I think, like you say, it's going to be painful, but surely amongst all of this, something good has to come out of it, that we're a collaborative unit, everyone works together. You might go to a different project to work on a different game, but something good is going to come out at the end of it. Do you know what I mean? Rather than unfortunately being lost or let go. But hopefully, once this is done and the dust settled a bit, we're going to get some good games, and the whole division and branch is going to be much better for it.
Did you do that on purpose, by the way?
But
When you went Playground working on something new on the horizon?
I did not. No, I did not. No, no.
I've got Forza Horizon on my brain.
Yeah, yeah. No, no, I didn't. No, no. It's just reminded me now. I'm angry about Forza again. I'm angry now. I'm angry now.
Yeah, you better not do me. You better not do me disjustice when I'm playing Fable like you've just done in Forza.
No, that'll be it then. I'll never play any of their games again. I swear.
I put 48 hours into Fable and I've just wiped out the last 40 hours of it.
Oh, imagine raging.
Right, so our last story is with me, and it's just a very brief PlayStation one. So July's PS Plus games catalog titles include Rise of Ronin and Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora. PlayStation has announced that this month's PS Plus games catalog titles include the aforementioned. Joining them are Firefighter Simulator Ignite, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Dying Light, Citizen Sleeper 2, the Snow Bros Wonderland. Two retro PS2 games are also included to the classic catalogue this month. PSI Ops, The Mindgate Conspiracy, and Indigo Prophecy, or Fahrenheit as it was known in Europe. Every game in the catalogue will be available for PS Plus Extra and PSP Plus Premium subscribers, with the two retro games only available for the premium tier. Avatar Frontiers is coming out on July the 21st. Rise of Ronin is coming out on the 15th in the US and the UK and the 16th in Japan. Firefighter Simulator on the 21st. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers is on the 28th. Dying Light is on the 28th. Citizen Sleeper is on the 28th. And Snow Bros is, can you guess the date what it's going to be?
Is it the 28th?
It's 28th. Yep, it's definitely. How did you guess that?
I don't know. Just had a feeling.
PSI Ops is the 21st, and Indigo Prophecy, can't say that word, is the 21st. So again, it's like we touched on earlier. It's giving you some of those games, like your firefighter simulators, and you sit and sleep. Dying Light is one of them. I don't think I ever played. And it's just, again, it's giving you the ability as a PS Plus member, a Game Pass member, to jump in and go, oh, do you know what? I fancy something different today before this game comes out, or I finish that game, and it's giving you some more stuff to play.
Yeah, it definitely is, and I must admit I did briefly look at PS Plus when the whole shenanigans with Game Pass was happening and obviously becoming more expensive. I still don't think there's enough to make me do it. I think it just needs. I still believe, and I'll live and die by this sword and down this hill. If they said like the PS2, PS3, PS4, whatever back catalogue was on it, and obviously PS Portal, you could play remote now. and play these games, if they suddenly went, right, your PS3 classics are on there, right, your PS2 classics on there, you've got me, you'd have me. And I know that sounds ridiculous that it's not the new stuff that's getting me, but again, like it's almost like what Microsoft is. It's your first party stuff. Your first party should be your bread and butter. Do you know what I mean? Is that should be on there in terms of right, this is available now. And even if it's in waves, and even if it's just a month, right, 1 month it's this, 1 month it's that, and so on and so forth. But yeah, like there's just not enough, and I think it's still a little bit confusing, the different tiers and the different levels, to make me jump in. So yeah, so maybe if it does that, having the portal element would be more appealing. But yeah, it's nice that there's that broad mix. But to me, Game Pass still just does more than PS Plus for me.
I think, yeah. I mean, I had PS Plus Premium. I think it was for a while, for quite a few years, and I can honestly say, okay, yes, I know I'm more green than blue. It's just it is my go-to console. I've got one downstairs, I've got one up here, and I've got the ROG. And my PlayStation is my exclusive. I will play Wolverine on it. You know, I do play Ratchet and Clank and God of War and things like that. But I do find that when I switch on and look at Game Pass once a week or once every couple of weeks, and I go, oh, I wonder what's coming up, or wonder what's new, there's always something which is like, well, you know what? I'll jump into that. And I see Anthony do it all the time. I mean, if there's any, when you look on the app, who's played this game, I can guarantee that virtually all games that are on Game Pass, maybe apart from Barbie Rides a Horse,
And Fortnite.
Yeah, and Fortnite. Even James has played Fortnite. Chessen's actually dived in and played it. So, but yeah, so it's yeah. I mean, we don't know. Sony and Xbox, or Sony and Microsoft, are two very different companies, and they look at things very differently. So, but hey, if you whatever you're subscribing to, enjoy it and enjoy your games. And with that, Steve, our podcast for this week, episode, what were we? Episode 186. I think it is completely over. Thank you very much for your time. It is a Saturday night because we both wanted to watch England get through to the World Cup final. Hold a second. Hold up. No, wrong one.
No, wrong one.
No, wrong one. No. Oh, lost it.
Where no, he's bottled it. He's bottled it.
I can't find it now.
Where's my sad trumpet when I need it?
There you go.
There it is.
There you go.
Yeah, instead, Stu, we can go watch him playing the most pointless third place playoff game known to man. Yay.
Yeah, and it's all about, I mean, I heard a statistic, sorry if anybody doesn't listen or watch football, but I did hear a statistic the other day, which was like, FIFA have found the perfect marriage with America. You know, the hydration breaks, I think was 350 million Powerade paid for that. Tomorrow's final is for half an hour, half time.
Because there's a halftime show, isn't there?
Because Justin Bieber or someone like that is singing. And it's just like, I think I heard something along the lines of Qatar 4 years ago made 400 million. America has made close to 900 million.
It's just they had some sort of press conference today, and there's a real phrase that I want to use that I won't to keep this more of a PG podcast. But honestly, it were Trump and what's his face from FIFA. It's like, you couldn't make it more obvious that you've got some sort of backhanded dodgy deal between you if you tried. Oh, it's been great, and oh yeah, it's been the best World Cup ever, and blah. It's mate, just shut up. I'm not. It's not even the fact that I'm bitter about England not being in the final. I wasn't really geared up for this World Cup anyway for this very reason. Do you know what I mean? You just knew it was going to be American, and they're in the back pocket, and it's just, yeah, we'll change everything to suit America. Why? The America's building interest in football, granted, but this is going to turn into a football and sports podcast separately. But
it was to end on one funny note was that the morning of on the Wednesday morning, my wife turned around to me and went, "So are you watching tonight?" And I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, you haven't watched one single whole England game because you've fallen asleep through it because obviously they were on past me bedtime.
That sums up the football we've been playing, though, Stu.
Yeah,
to be fair,
but it was like she's like, you can't watch tonight, and I'm like, why? Because if you watch tonight, we'll lose, and it's bad luck. I know we won't lose, and if we lose, it's not because of me. Of course, when we went 2-1 down, and I just looked at her and went, Yeah, well, but when we were at 1-1, I looked at her and went, "This is over. This is going to end 2-1. There's no way we're going to win this." And then they scored 2-1, and she just turned around and looked at me and just gave me this look of disapproval, like, "This is all your fault." And I'm like, "Right, time to go to bed."
Yeah, I must admit to you, I entered 2 Facebook competitions like the few days beforehand, and at both I went, "It's 2-1 Argentina. It's 2-1 Argentina," and it's like it happened. It happened because I just knew it would be. And whether you think it was, I don't think we got cheated out of it. I know there was a steer that we would. I think they were just a better team. You know, I wasn't even upset. I was more annoyed that we just succumbed to the inevitable England every single time, that we just let ourselves down.
Well, we just played defend. We tried to defend against the world's best team for 20 minutes. Law of averages says it's not going to happen. So, but anyway, right. So this is a game.
We've lost everybody now. We've lost everybody.
Well, maybe we could just say we were playing it on FIFA, or not FIFA. What's it called? FC. EA FC or something like that.
Yeah.
So, Steve, thank you very much for taking your Saturday night to pod with me. Where can people find you on the internet?
Yeah, people can pretty much find me everywhere at SteakCarter91. That's on PlayStation, Xbox, YouTube and Instagram. TikTok, I think I'm SteakCarter1991. But yeah, if you just search me, SteakCarter91, you'll pretty much find me everywhere. I think it's for Twitch as well. But yeah, you'll find me if you look me up under that handle.
And thank you for doing the socials for gamers. I nearly said Inside CI then. I need you to start doing that as well. But
don't start getting paid. Don't finally start getting paid.
No. You got a billion subscribers. No,
Out of
actually,
the goodness of my heart.
In fairness, I logged into TikTok for the first time in ages today, and there's quite a good smattering of like views across all those type of things. So if you are listening to this, do look at Gamers and Lost Spark podcast, or Lost Spark podcast, I think it is, on all socials, because Steve's been putting up some clips and some bits and pieces, which has been very much appreciated.
It's just a nice bit of fun. It's a nice bit of fun.
Yeah, and it's been there's been a few ones on there that he's been playing rage baity, like, you know, like,
gotta be done.
Is this the way to play Forza or something like that? But it's been quite interesting seeing the statistics. And then obviously on the YouTube channel, we've got Steve's doing some streams on Twitch, which I'm then downloading and putting up on YouTube. I've been doing the hour play, so do go along to Lost Sparks podcast on YouTube as well if you're not there already watching this. I am General Letdown on Xbox or PlayStation, but as I said, you'll probably more likely find me playing Forza on Xbox. And on social media, you'll find me at Mr. Stuart Burgess. He's still on the dock, so I'm still going to read him out.
I'm going to say, are you going to end up saying you'll find me under Chessman? Is that, no, you're not Chessman.
He's still on it. So if you want to find the OG himself, Anthony, you can go and find him on Chessman on Xbox, PS-Chessman on PlayStation, and a whole mixture of social media handles to find him on the interweb. So, But thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. If you've got any feedback, please click on the link in the notes or send an email to hello@gamersandlostspark.com, and we will speak to you again in a couple of weeks. And thank you very much for your time, Steve.
No, you're very welcome, mate. Looking forward to the next one already.
Excellent. Cheers, guys. Have a good weekend. See you soon.
Bye-bye.